So, first, let's talk a bit about you. So, I know that you're an American and that you're. What do I know about you? It's interesting. um, you're very.
Homosexual.
Yeah. And that you're very passionate about your romantic relationships. Like you talk a lot about them. That matters to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Is that weird?
No, it's just obvious.
Yeah, it's something like dating someone is like, it's like winning the lottery and like mixed with balancing on like a tightrope. It's like you have to listen to it, but it's like a gift. Yeah.
And how surfing came into your path, like.
What a good question. There's so many like kinds of ways to tell it, but really like I joined a cult when I was in my really early 20s, and I had all kinds of like really crazy experiences in it. And after I was like, I don't like this anymore. I didn't know how to reconcile what I loved about it. And what I loved about it was the kind of like the connection, and then also the exploration into like the mind, like freedom from, I don't know, weird traps of the mind. And so circling was like, oh, perfect. There's no charismatic leader. And we get to connect with each other and kind of like do this kind of trippy thing.
And for how long have you been circling now?
I remember the first circle, but I think that was probably, I'm not good at time. I think it was like 8 years, 7, 8 years.
And do you remember with who it was?
I remember who led the circle, and weird that you asked me that because it's a person I don't ever want to see again. And my dear friend Liz Gans was there. And we were both kind of like, what's going on with this? And then when they explained how to do it, we were like, oh. Yeah.
What have you led so far?
Say again.
What have you led in terms of workshops or weekends of sessions?
I've led some cool classes back when I was also doing authentic relating. I still do that sometimes. I led this one class was called Raw, Realize an Authentic World. It was so cool. It was like all these weird exercises, and the group was just really excited. And the final exercise you had to do was this thing that happened to me when I was in the cult. It's like you had to go for a walk with somebody and you had to tell them every thought you had while you were walking. So like no filtering. And they were just like, oh my God, that's really scary. It was really fun. I'm still friends with all of them.
Cool. Do you have a very important memory in circling that you could share?
Oh, it's funny. I was kind of like going through and touching, and then I got to this memory. There's this memory of I was in Jordan's kitchen with Kageni, and she was talking about how much she loved her daughter. And I remember thinking, I know what this is. I know what this is. And then all of a sudden, it was like if you were touching something in the dark, and then all of a sudden you realized it was so much bigger than you could ever imagine. I was like, I know what this is. I know what this is. I don't know what this is. It was like listening to her talk about love. I like learned how much I didn't know. And then I think something about that experience of learning what I don't know, it's almost like how water runs downhill. I just like start learning like way faster.
And what is it that you liked about circling?
I liked that it was like, you know, like birds fly north. Like all I have to do is be me. So it's like there's a true focus that's a good focus. Like I don't have to empathize like anybody else. I don't have to do anything like the right way. I just have to do it my way. And something about learning like my way is like, it's something like it's always useful. It only adds to my life. Like, you know, if you practice something that you're like never going to use again, but I'm like, I'm always going to use this again. Yeah.
How do you personally circle someone or a group?
How do I do it personally?
Yeah. You could explain to someone who circles.
So the way it's weird, there's like a picture in my head. I sit down and I just assume that I'm already judging them in certain ways. And I almost like you know those like Catholics like cross themselves before they like go into battle. I just say to myself, I don't know what you're gonna say next. Like a prayer. And then I kind of lean in. And then the next thing that happens is I imagine I've been teleported to their planet. I'm already there, and I'm like breathing the air and feeling like the vibes. And then I just kind of like start looking around and telling them what I see. And I try and be really clear, like, this is me on your planet. This is not me trying to tell you about your planet. Yeah.
What tip or advice would you give to a new circler sitting right in front of you?
Something about not knowing. Yeah. Something about not. Oh, yeah. It's like the feeling of really not knowing should make you feel kind of pathetic. Like, you know, and like people are like, ooh, not knowing, it's so mysterious. But like a real experience to me is like, I'm so dumb that I can't even begin to fathom the beauty in front of me. There's this weird reaction where I think people don't let themselves feel pathetic because they don't think the other person would like respect them or something. But that hasn't been the case. It's like people just are like, it's almost like, oh, thanks. You're the first person that hasn't thought they figured me out in 5 seconds. Yeah. 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 The idea like circling is the thing that if you do it right, it will change you because you'll get to step into that not knowing. Yeah.
Yeah, by daring to feel dumb or pathetic, right?
Yeah, those are just like words, but like the humility or the smallness or yeah.
And what is it that matters to you to share with the participant coming in your sessions?
Mm. It's funny. There was like a fear response in me. It's something like I I I hate to break it to everybody, but we're always already projecting all the time. And when I'm listening to you, I'm pretty much hearing everything you say is talking to me and talking to you. And sometimes like talking to you at me. And I'm doing the same thing. Yeah. Like we're kind of like, you know how like nerves are like in our body and they like signal to each other? Like I think we're just nerves signaling to each other. You know, like, ouch, I'm hurting. You know? And the rest of us are supposed to be like, ouch, we hurt with you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about bringing a book, but listening to you, I'm like, it seems that you learn more by just being with people than reading books or anything.
Yeah, well, I like books, but it's funny. I read I'll read like 10 pages of something, and then I would just think about it. You know, like have you ever read Course in Miracles?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, I read like 15 pages, and I was like, oh my God, this is like eating it at a buffet. But I did bring my special hook.
What do you do with this? What do you,
This hook?
yeah.
Well, it's like a massage hook. It's for getting my, I don't know, whatever those things are back there. You know, the places where like an angel would have wings. I've really been working those at the gym.
Is there any question that I didn't ask and you would have liked to answer?
It's weird. I would like, I don't know the question. Like, what is there an answer I want to say? It's something like, oh, it's funny. We were just, you were talking before, and you were like, how do you feel? It's like, it's time for fun. I think that's what I want to, if I want you to ask a question where the answer is, it's time for fun.
Can you say more about that?
It's just like, I'm looking at like, I think it's a big part of life right now. It's like, how do I orient, you know? And there's like achievement and all this kind of stuff. It's cool. And it's weird, lighter. I think now is the time of preferences, you know, like we have to do what we want. I want to have fun. I want circling to be fun. Yeah.
In what way?
Like, oh my God. I had one the other day. It was like, everybody was in. Everybody that came on purpose and like chose to be in. We didn't have any of those spots where anybody had to pretend in order to protect somebody's feelings. It was just like, no, just tell the truth. And it was awesome. It's like weird. It's like when that happens, I almost revert to like some other like more natural state. And it's really nice. Huh. Good. Did we do okay?